Hello everyone, it's Thomas Jujube and welcome to the monthly Thomas Jujube live stream. It basically has been exactly a month since the last live stream, so monthly live stream, yeah. um, I'll wait a couple seconds for people to stop by, even though we already have, I think a few people. Let me see how many we have. I can't see how many we have. Oh no, we have like 50 people here already. Awesome, that's very epic. So who's here already? I'll say hi to who's here. Hello, Car Ninja Man. Hello, Hayden Reviews. Emery Miller. Sam Adam. Cool Caleb. Leaf Storm. Septile. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Neo Buster. Hello, Cringe Grape. Hello, Hyper Rabbit. Hello, Gamers Force Ranger 785. Hello, Prism. Hello, Jenga. KR Spirit. NGO says, remember the leaks about Kamen Rider Geats being a Viking themed rider with a wolf axe motif? Well, those weren't leaks because they are not true. But yes, I do remember. Hello, Spider Guy, Mr. Cool Guy Awesome, John Davis, Hyper Rabbit, S Magma, E2 Gaming, Tavo, Alex A, Izzle Pog, Manuel Gonzalez, Toku Vlogs, Peppa Kujo. There are a lot of people here. Zengoku Ryoma is here. Oh my god, from Kamen Rider Gaim. Giovanni King. Dead Galaxy. Welcome, welcome. welcome, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. As you can tell what we're going to be talking about today. All about Kamen Rider Geats. Before I just start talking about Geats, because so the stream is basically just going to be about Geats. If towards the end, after I'm done talking about like a bunch of stuff, we can talk about other various things, Revice, Dawn Brothers, whatever. But the main goal of today's stream is to just talk about Kamen Rider Geats, because we got the press conference yesterday, and usually I wait until the press conference to talk about stuff. But for some reason, Geats took a while. I'll get to that in a second. Before, it's not like someone else is importing it and you're buying it from them. Like, no, it's literally being officially brought here by Bandai Team Kamen Rider. So, make sure you, if you want Geats merchandise, you can check that out. And then, last Monday, I uploaded a review for the Kamen Rider Double anime episode 1, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already. And tomorrow, I'm going to be uploading a review of a Super Sentai movie. So if you want to see, that right now, it's actually available on my Patreon for only $2. You can, wait, the live stream just reset. I swear the live stream just reset. Something weird happened on my end. It's fine. We're gonna ignore that. Hopefully nothing bad happened. But anyways, where was I? So this Sentai movie is coming out tomorrow. And if you want to watch right now, it's on Patreon for only $2. That's it. Someone asked, will Rider Potential Revice be out before Rider Potential X8? Unfortunately, yes. But after Rider Potential X8, I am hoping to move on to X8 stuff and finally finish out my X8 videos in that case. So I'm sorry it's taken so long for Rider Potential X8. It's just I've been trying to do other stuff as well. So now, with that all out of the way, let's move on to Kamen Rider Geats. So I have a few images here. I guess you could say it's Geatin time. Geatsin time? Yeah, Geatsin time. So, let's see. I'm using the links in the description. I'm going to be talking about this stuff from Toku Nation has like translated stuff and info, so I'm just going to be reading off of that. So the plot of Kamen Rider Geats is that a man named Ukyo Hidetoshi, or Ace, joins a contest known as the Desire Grand Prix, a contest where players transform into Kamen Riders and battle the dangerous Jamato creatures. The winner of the Desire Grand Prix gains the right to reshape the world based on what their heart desires. Each rider will gain points in the Desire Grand Prix by battling and defeating Jamato. It says at the time of writing, but this synopsis is a few weeks old. Because Geats was like revealed to us like 3 weeks ago, and I thought they were going to announce a press conference like that day, and it would be like a few days later, because that's what happened with Revice. Revice came out, or Revice had the movie, they announced Revice, and then they're like, the press conference is in 5 days, and then they had the press conference and everything. But in this case, like, Geats had his cameo in the Revice movie, they announced Geats, and then we didn't get a press conference date for like another week? Or yes, it was another week, like over a week until we got the press conference date. But that press conference date was also a week later, so literally like 3 weeks later after Geats was revealed, we finally got the press conference. So in hindsight, I would have liked to have live streamed like 3 weeks ago at least. So because there's a lot to talk about with Geats, and I love Geats. I'm so excited for the show. So I'm sad it's taken me so long to talk about it. But it's fine. We're here to talk about Geats right now. So now that we have the press conference, now that the press conference has happened, we've got this full poster with all of the riders. And we've got info on all the characters now. Or not all of the characters, but most of the characters. So I'm going to go through the cast list here. So... Oh yeah, I apologize if I sound weird because I was sick a few days ago. So, this is obviously Kamen Rider Geats. Real name Ace Ukyo Hidetoshi. He is a mysterious but determined young man whose reasons for joining the Grand Prix will be revealed as the series progresses. So, a lot of people have been talking about this guy and his vibe from the trailer. That's a phone. We're gonna ignore that. Anyways, that was Kamen Rider Geats. No, that was Toei calling me because I'm talking about their show and they're trying to copyright cancel me. My bad. So Geats, Geats is very different from the last few riders we've gotten since, at least for like a long time, because a lot of the times we've been getting riders who are very happy and they're friendly and you just want to give them a hug, and then in this case, it's he's just a man. Like, he's a man and he's angry, and, or I mean, he's not angry, but he's like, a lot of people have been saying he gives off Tendo vibes from Kabuto, and I don't like Kabuto, but I do like Tendo. So I like that. I like having a cool main rider again. Not that I don't dislike the happy people main riders. I like when we have just a happy man who's our main character, because I can be happy watching him being happy. But I think it's pretty cool to have a guy who's a badass. And as I'll talk about later, like, it seems like he's pre-established and like he's very skilled. So it's kind of nice to have, like, we have this Rider Grand Prix thing, and it would have been very easy to make him like someone who's new to it and we're learning it through their eyes and all that. But instead we have a badass. So it's really cool. Next up is our secondary. This is the guy who kind of like feels like he would have been the main rider, and then they decided to not make him the main rider, or like he feels like the main rider of like a different show, I guess. I don't know. So this is Kamen Rider Tycoon. Real name Kagekazu Sakurai. Is an unemployed college student who dreams of world peace. So this is the happy man. This is the man who wants everyone to be happy and smile and all that. I've seen a bit of speculation that he might be like I guess more on the Kabuto vibes. This is like Kagami if this is Tendo. So he might be, Tycoon might be like our main protagonist for episode 1. So we're seeing the world through his eyes, and then and then this is like obviously the main character, but this is how we're gonna see the world because he's new to it as well. I like him. I mean, I'll say this up front. I like all the characters like a lot. I like how they're all very different from each other, but they're all like, I don't know. I like all of them in different ways. Like I like Ace is just a badass. I like having a badass main character, but I like Tycoon is just a friend. He's based on a Tanuki, of course, so it's kind of nice. He's just a friendly little raccoon man. Everyone's saying he's gonna die on Christmas. I don't. He's the secondary rider. He's not gonna die, guys. On that note, actually, some people have been. There's a bit of discussion, about who's the secondary rider, because if we go to the poster here, Buffa is like on the left. Buffa is more armored. And then Tycoon is like not very prominent on the poster as well. But in the press conference, Tycoon is second. Like they're like, this is Ace, this is Kamen Rider Geats, this is the main character, and then they're like, here's the other guy, and like we're following him in the trailer, or it seems like we're gonna follow him in episode 1. So it's like, guys, he has the secondary vibes. Like he's very clearly gonna be the secondary rider. I don't know why everyone's confused about who's the secondary, because it's pretty clearly this guy. So yes, there are toy leaks. I'll see if I get to the toy leaks later, because I don't remember them all that well. But also, I mean, someone point out, if this becomes another Kyuranger 6 or O's final form situation, I mean, like in a couple months Toei will inevitably say something like, this is the secondary. Like when Kamen Rider Live debuted in Revice, the writer was like, he's the secondary, so people weren't like arguing and stuff. So they confirmed this stuff pretty easily. It's just that people don't like to listen to it. So here's the tertiary. This is Kamen Rider Nago, real name Kurama Neon, who is a social media influencer from a celebrity family who wishes for an ordinary life. So, I mean, like I said, with the other two, I like all the characters, so I like her. I like that we're continuing the trend of women tertiaries in Reiwa, because we had Yaiba, then we had Sakura last year. We took a break with Saber, I guess, and made Espada just a man. But people thought May would be Espada, so I guess there's that. So, yeah. I mean, other than that, we don't really have much to her. I have been talking about this on Twitter, but she might be my favorite because she's a YouTuber. In real life, like the actress is a YouTuber, and then in the show, she's a YouTuber, so she's a YouTuber Kamen Rider. And you may not know this, but you are watching a YouTube stream right now with me, and I'm a YouTuber, so I kind of like having a YouTuber Kamen Rider. I don't know, I think that's cool. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how she's gonna do stuff in the show. And actually, I think she might have my favorite helmet as a rider of everyone, because I don't, it's a really interesting looking helmet. Like, the cat earphones thing is kind of cool. It's really cool. It fits with her, with her personality, because she's a streamer. But I think it's really cool that, like, the eye design is super badass, like with the lines all going through and stuff. I think it's really cool. It looks like, I don't know, it looks neat. So I'm excited to see her full form. Same with Tycoon, but I'm more excited for this one. So then our last rider character that we've been given for now is Kamen Rider Buffa, real name Azume Michinage, who is a fighter that sees Geats as his greatest rival. So, it's funny we haven't gotten like he doesn't have like that much info on him, but in the trailer you can see that he's like a construction worker. So it seems like he's just a normal man, and then he turns into Kamen Rider Buffa, and he has a badass suit design. Like, what, his suit leaked like a couple weeks ago, or like a week or two ago, and a lot of people were talking about him, and I agree. He has like incredible. I mean, all of these suit designs are incredible. I'll talk more about the suits in a second, but it looks. I mean, it's good looking. And yeah, I don't like. There's other stuff I want to say, but we're gonna go through the trailer, so I'm just gonna save that stuff for the trailer. There are 2 other characters that we have learned the identities of. So this is Sumuri. Her name is just Sumuri. She's not a rider. She is the navigator for the Desire Grand Prix, and her responsibility is to meet new riders and introduce the rules of combat. So, she's Poppy from Kamen Rider Chronicle. You can see she's like giving people the desire driver and stuff, and she seems to like be sending them out into battles and stuff. So I don't trust her. She's not good. She's gonna be evil. Like, there's a leak of some vinyl that's coming out called like Game Master, and this character is referred to as the Game Master in the trailer. So it seems pretty, like, I'm pretty confident that she's going to she has like a monster form or some like pseudo rider form, and then she's gonna like kick people's asses or something. She has a toy of her being sold, so it's like she's gonna do something. So I don't trust her. She's bad. I don't know what this, like, she's a bad person. She's not gonna be good. And then speaking of people that aren't gonna be good, this is the last cast they revealed. His name, this is the first time I'm seeing this name, and I don't know how I'm supposed to say this. It's like Giroli. It's Giroli. Weird name. This is the same thing. I mean, she works for him, so he's in the same boat. I don't trust him. He's bad. He's the concierge of the Temple of Desire, who oversees the participants of the Grand Prix. So, same thing. I don't trust this man. This man is... Hey, Big Dog, why are you running a Desire Grand Prix? What are you trying to do? What are you... So, these 2 are up to no good. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their goal is. But they're like, oh, we want you to save people from monsters? No. You guys... So that's the guy in the Revice OP. Iki in the suit? Okay. So... Someone said he looks like Thouser's dad. He does have the same suit as Thouser, so that's funny. So, yeah, these 2 I don't trust at all. These 2 are... Keep your eyes out for these 2, alright? These 4... I don't know, some of you are saying you don't trust Buffa. I think Buffa's just a normal man. Like, he's just a construction worker. This random-ass woman came up to him like, here's a belt. You can do stuff with it. He's like, alright, bet. I'll do stuff with it. Like, he looks super menacing, but I don't think he's... Like he just looks menacing. He's, like, obviously Geats' rival, but I think he's a rival in the same way as, like Baron from Gaim, where Baron was, like, not a bad person per se. He's just, like, mean. So I think this guy is good. He's just mean. That is my professional opinion. Also, it's at the bottom here, so I might as well say it. The theme song is being made by the people who made the Gaim theme song, and like just some other singer. She's a famous singer. It's just I haven't heard anything she sang. So everyone's saying Baron was the final villain, but Baron was the final villain, but like he wasn't a bad guy. Like he was fighting Kota to save the world. Like he was gonna save the world if he won. So someone said I really hope the Panda Rider's evil. That Panda Rider, there's something up with Dapin. I've never said this name out loud. I'm realizing I don't know how I'm supposed to say it. But people are saying Majin is jealous of Nago. Look, I'm not simping. I just think she's a YouTuber, and that's cool. Ace should be a YouTuber too. I feel like we should move on to the poster at this. I mean, not the poster's right here. I'm saying we should move on to the trailer. I think we're gonna watch the trailer now. Well, not watch the trailer, because every time I watch the trailer, even if I don't put audio, it gets, like, the whole stream gets claimed. So, like, you can watch it, but then I'm not making money off of it anymore. And I hate to tell you this, guys, but I actually do need money. So, what was I gonna put? Oh, just trailer. Yes, Genta is a YouTuber as well, and that's why I like Genta. That's a... Oh, hold on. We're gonna... Oops. Okay, there we go. So I just need to set up the trailer so we can actually watch it, because I did not do this, because I don't know what I'm doing. You guys may not have known that. Okay, there we go. Transform fit to screen. What is happening here? Oh no, what happened? Okay. There we go. Here is a black screen, because we're going to look at the trailer. I'm not going to play the trailer, obviously. As I mentioned, we will get copyright claimed, and we don't want that. We don't want the copyright claim. So, I'm just going to, like, go through it. Like, how does this look? I just want to see. Okay, cool. That looks good. So, Desire Grand Prix. We get, like, all the people. I don't have subtitles right now, but the link in the description is subtitled. So here's all the riders. You know, this people looking cool. This is a really nice shot as well, with all the Geats and the fireworks. This season looks hot. Like, everything. Not the people, the suits. The suits look hot. So, moving on, we have Geats. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the woman. Like, Ace is just vibing, and she's like, "Look, here's a belt. Go fight people." That's sus. I don't trust that at all. So then we got cool shots. I'll talk more about this later. This was almost a thumbnail. Fun fact. This shot right here, a little behind the scenes. So everyone gets a little, like, character blurb. So this just says, like, his name, Kamen Rider Geats. I think it says he's referred to as, like, an invincible man, or unbeatable. It's either unbeatable or invincible, which I'm just realizing now might mean Muteki, which is that's my thing. So Ace is cramping in on my territory. Here's Tycoon. So he's I think this is him looking for a job, because it's like he looks like a businessman here, but then the thing says he's a broke college student. So I'm like, you don't look broke here, but I trust that you are. I'm not gonna tell someone they're not broke or not, because that's not my place to say. And then he does a little V sign. Oh, here's him. He's scared. He's just scared. Is that? Oh, that's Ginpen in the back with the arrow. We see that shot later. That's cool. I did not notice that. A lot of... this... I didn't point out, but, like, this guy's, like, a fan favorite. I'm already seeing people in the chat. They're like, broke college student. He just like me. That's funny. Hey, I'm also broke, so he is just like me. Oh, yeah, here's his character blurb thing. I like this. Like, when they do this for all the characters, I think that's cool. So here's something interesting. They don't really touch on this in the trailer. But this is obviously Tycoon, and this is his sister, which, fun fact, is played by Oni's sister's real life sister. So that's fun. But she's, like, trapped here, and then the monsters attack, and then we just kind of don't touch on that at all later. So I'm seeing, like, a bit of speculation, like, maybe when he gets put in the Desire Grand Prix, he like his sister has to be taken from him. But this seems like it's before he joins, because the monsters are attacking, and then like the vibe I get like with this shot here and later in the trailer where he has like no idea what's happening, like I don't know, I feel like this is before he's in the Desire Grand Prix. So I feel like this might be like the inciting incident, like this is what gets him to join the Desire Grand Prix. And that like there are just these monsters attacking, and then they get people to become Kamen Riders and fight in it. So I'm assuming like the Desire Grand Prix is, well, no, the monsters in the Desire Grand Prix is all like orchestrated. Like the people making the Desire Grand Prix have created these monsters as well. So the big twist is like it's not the monsters that are doing this to his sister, it's the Desire Grand Prix, because they made the monsters and this is all like them. That's what I'm assuming. As the trailer goes on, we get introduced to Nago, and we get more shots of the riders as well. And then here's her YouTubing, I guess. I don't think there's a shot in this trailer, but there's a shot where there's like security men with her or something, which is kind of interesting. You can see the helmet really nice here. Like, look at all the lines and stuff. Like, that looks really neat. I really like the helmet. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's her. Then we get Buffa D's nuts. This is the first time I made the joke ever. And Buffa is just beating ass. Look at him go. And then here is him in rider form. Like, we get like nothing on him in the trailer as well. He's just there beating people up. And then we get this shot here, and then you can see that Nago and Tycoon are wearing the same clothes here, like when they meet each other. What, here? So it seems like, and she's wearing the same thing here, I think. So it seems like a bit of this is from episode 1. Where, as I mentioned earlier, it seems like we're gonna get like a Kamen Rider Kabuto situation, where we're gonna focus on Tycoon, presumably, and Nago as like the main characters of episode 1, and then they'll meet Ace at the end, and then Ace will be obviously our main character. And then presumably the other two get drafted into the Grand Prix, and then we get like, then I'm assuming Buffa and like all this crap with like everyone. Where is it? Like this? No, where did it go? This stuff. Yeah. Where it's like all of them like running around. Hold on, I do want to show this clip of Dapan. Like, look at, I'm gonna get claimed. Look at Dapan. She just, I don't know, you can barely see it, but Dapan like on the left just like just runs away. It's so funny. Let me. There they go. So, oh no, we don't want to see that yet. So I'm assuming that's what I'm assuming is gonna happen. Ace is like at the end of the episode. He's like, "What's up, guys? I'm in the Desire Grand Prix, and I'm gonna beat people up." Like, actually, I think like maybe this is like the start of the episode where we just see Ace like doing his own thing, and then she shows up and she's like, "Hey, join this thing." And he's like, "Okay." And then we don't see him for the rest of the episode, and then at the end we'll see him, and he transforms. And so I really like his henshin as well, where he snaps. That's really badass. And then we get Geats. Then we just get Geatsing. This shot's cool, where we get all the dudes, and I really like how they all have like uniforms. We haven't had riders with like uniforms in a long time, I feel, or like ever. Like, this is kind of a Sentai thing, like putting the people in uniforms and having them all transform. So it's kind of cool to have Kamen Rider do this as well. And I think, yeah, there's 7 people here, and there are 7 Kamen Riders that we know of so far. So I would assume that these are all 7 riders, but we haven't gotten introduced to 3 of them yet. So I'll talk about them in a second. And then, yeah, here's more shots of the woman giving people the belt. So here's, I assume, Tycoon. And then here's, obviously, Buffa. Buffa these nuts. And you can see it's just a man. Like, he's a construction worker. So I don't know why everyone's, like, so upset with this man. He's just, like, working. He's a normal citizen. And everyone is so mean to him. What's wrong with you guys? This is the person you're supposed to be mean to. She's clearly evil. She even gets, like, a rider thing, but she's not a rider. And then Buffa beating people up. She does the Ichigo pose. I don't, like, how did she know about that? This is Geats Water, Geats Boost, Ginpen Arrow. This is from the movie cameo, so that's cool. Oh, here's a shot of Nago with the security officer. So I'm assuming it's like she like sneaks out and she's like doing all the YouTube stuff, and then because she's famous, they're like, man, you have to come back with us. That's actually, yeah, I feel like that's kind of what her whole deal is. I think that's interesting. And then here's, what is she doing to him? What did he's in so much pain? No. And then here's what's his name again? I forgot his name. Ace Boost bike. This is from the movie. It's a Kitsune bike. I hope they use the bike. There's more of this bike in the trailer than there is the bike in all of Revice, the Revice bike. So I hope this bike gets used. I feel like people say this every year, like, oh, the bike looks different, they're gonna use it more, and it's never ever used more. So, like, I think people were like, oh, they spent like $2 billion on this bike in Revice. They're gonna use it every episode. They used it once, and they haven't used it since. So, and then she waves, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, I didn't really look at this picture before. So this is obviously the Temple of Desire the dude lives in. But before I thought that the Temple dude was holding Boost, but it looks like Ace is the one holding Boost, or someone in the game has Boost. So, yeah, I don't know. Boost is interesting. I wonder where Boost comes from. And, like, what is the point of taunting? This is the dude who runs everything. What is the point of taunting him with Boost? He's like, I made that. It's like, okay. And then we got a bunch of the riders. Here's friend, Tycoon. Actually, it seems like these two might have a fun. Nago and Mary will have a fun interaction because they have this thing here, and then earlier we got the whole thing where she's talking to him. It seems like that might be the same scene. So it seems like they might be like they just screw around in the fights. I don't know. That seems like fun. Tycoon brought a picture to a fight. That is not a good idea, my guy. Dapanda. Oh, he's in episode 1. You can see him. This is the episode 1 like fight, because you can see Tycoon and you can kind of see Nago are in the back wearing their episode 1 uniforms. So I didn't even notice that this is episode 1. So we're gonna get a lot of stuff just in episode 1. So that's really cool. And then this is from the Revice movie. And then, okay, so now so our rider lineup. This guy is Ginpen. He's based on a penguin. This is obviously Buffa. Buffa looks cursed, like, without the armor, because I'm so used to him with the armor. Then we get this shot. So presumably this guy on the right is Buffa. Tycoon, obviously, with the core. Geats, obviously. Nago, obviously. The shot is funny they put in because she doesn't really do anything except, like, look up. But they are like, yeah, we'll put that in the trailer. Dapan, and then Mary, and then Fortnite. Should have probably brought up earlier that Toei themselves said that Geats is based on, like, Battle Royale stuff. So Fortnite, like, they literally said Fortnite and Apex Legends were inspirations for Kamen Rider Geats. And as someone who has played Fortnite and Apex Legends, that's pretty cool. I think that's cool. So this is quite the lineup of riders. So that's the end of the trailer. Also, like, they just run up, and then Kamen Rider Geats starts September 4th, but it's actually the 3rd if you don't live on that side of the world like me. So Kamen Rider Geats. I am so excited for this season because there's so much happening here. So, like, aesthetically, this season is so cool because, as I talked about like 2 years ago with Saber, when we got Saber come out, Saber came out, like, all the information, and I was like, I'm gonna buy everything. I'm gonna do that again. Guess what? But the thing with Saber was that, like, I was talking about how I love, like, the Gaim faceplates, the idea of, like, one belt and multiple people can use it, but we just change, like, one piece, so it changes an undersuit thing. I think that's really cool when the rider suits do that. So I like when the Zengoku driver does it, the Sword driver, now the Desire driver. I really love that concept. I also like mix and match stuff for Kamen Rider suits. So again, Saber did that with the 3 Wonder Ride books, and I love the usage of the Wonder Ride books, as I've talked about multiple times. But this takes it to the next level. I feel like I should pull up. There's a second trailer. I feel like I should pull that up. Oh, perfect. Okay, it's already there. No, I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons. But here's the Desire driver. Here's Geats. So, the thing with this show is that they are making the base form, like the undersuit form, like in actual form thing. Like, we've had undersuit forms for years. Since Den-O, we've gotten riders with, like, an undersuit, and they add armor onto the undersuit. Gaim did it. Ghost did it. Others certainly did it. But the thing with this is that they are emphasizing this as the rider's forms. Like, as the pictures I showed earlier are just like our look at Kamen Rider Tycoon and Nago as riders is just this black suit with a helmet on it. That's it. That's the Kamen Rider that we have right now. And that's so cool to me because it lets us use the buckles, like the buckle gimmick, to this incredible extent where, like, it builds into the world they've built, or it adds into the world they've built with the Desire Grand Prix, and we're gonna fight and all that stuff, because they're Kamen Riders, but they're like nothing. They're just people in suits, really. So they have to compete, presumably, to get their Kamen Rider gimmicks, to get, like, their full Kamen Rider status, because then we get, Magnum. So Geats is base form, like, presumably, I mean, I assume we're gonna see him, like, have it in episode 1, but presumably from his perspective, he had to earn his base form. And at least, for sure, with Tycoon and Nago, we're gonna have to see them earn their armor to earn their base forms. So we're gonna have to see people earn their Kamen Rider base forms, which is something we've never seen before. And if you've seen my Ultraman Orb video, if you've seen Orb and you've seen that video, you know that one of my favorite parts of that show that I find so incredibly interesting is that the final form of Orb is his base form. Like, the ultimate power-up in that show is just him going back to his base form. And that's kind of what this is. Their, like, first upgrades are going to be them just becoming normal Kamen Riders. And that's super cool to me. And, like, it's such a natural progression, character development for them to go from, they're selling us a toy, right? Nago gets a buckle, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a toy you can go buy, and I will buy it. But it's super cool to have that incorporated so flawlessly into the story as her in this game getting a power-up, but it's also her becoming a full Kamen Rider. But then the next level to that is just that these things are so cool because okay, so this boost, Geats boost, just boost as a top form. This is like the best mix and match for all Kamen Rider, in my opinion, because for years it's always been, if something mix and matches, if there's like 2 slots or 3 slots, it's always been like use it in 1 slot, like Gashats, right? Every Gashat is only used in 1 slot, or like 1 specific slot. Like Geki Tatsu robots never went to the main slot; it was always the armor slot. What else? Build always had to use inorganic and organic full bottles. There's not, he never used rabbit. I mean, except for Rabbit Dragon, of course. But there is never like Rabbit Panda or something like that. Even Saber had to use the books had specific slots they had to go into. For this, these buckles, the raised buckles, can just go into whatever slot. So Boost can go into the top slot, and we get a boost form. Just Geats boost. He can use both, obviously, and we get the base form of the show, right? These clips are from the Revice movie. We can get Magnum boost. Obviously, that's the base form of the show of Geats. But he can also revolve on, which I'll get into in a second. And then we get Boost Magnum. And actually, you can see, I didn't even notice. Oh my god. In this picture, he's not even revolved on. He's just put on Boost on the right and Magnum on the left. So you can just put these buckles wherever you want to. And that's so cool to me. That opens up the mix and match all the way open. Like, it is insane how playable this driver is. They've been talking about it for like forever. They're like, guys, you can do so much with this driver. And I'm like, I know. That's why I want it, guys. I know, Bandai. But then, like, this revolve on feature is so fun to me as well, because it's not necessary. Like, they already showed off. You can put in Magnum, or no, what? You can put Boost on the right side. Like, they're not locked to a side. So you can do Boost Magnum by putting in the gimmicks. But by making this driver spin, it spins. And then the armor swaps as well. Just like adds, again, it just adds to like the world of like this, like of like in battle, like in the heat of battle, if Geats wants to use Boost as his top piece now, and then he doesn't have to pull out the 2 buckles and switch in and put them back on. He just has to switch. He just revolves on. He just revolves the belt, and now he does a quick form swap. He can revolve on again, and now he's back in base form. It's so cool to me. Like, I would have never thought of that. Like, oh, we can make the 2 things mix and match. Awesome. I never would have thought, like, oh, let's just add, like, a spin feature so you can just quick spin in, like, a battle. Like, the idea is, like, you spin that, and you quick switch in battle. That is so cool. And then, like, I already love this, right? Like, I love all of this already. These things, like, these are probably going to be my favorite gimmicks. No, actually, Gashats are really cool. But these might be, like, my second favorite gimmicks in Kamen Rider. Because, like, even the way they're used in the belt, where they complete the belt. Where, like, it's a blank thing, right? It's this blank thing. And then you add Boost Magnum, and it completes this circle. And now it looks like a full belt. But then, like, they're also, like, they're just 2 different things. Like, the only similarity is that circle piece. Magnum works completely differently with the spin thing and the gun. And then the other, the boost thing has, like, a handle, right? So, like, they're 2 completely different things. So, like, people have been saying they're like the Astra switches, where they're, like, all different, like, random crap. But they all, like, have different button features. These are, like, Astra switches on, like, crack. And they look cool. And I love them. Oh, my gosh. But then, like, there are these mini ones that just add, like, little armor pieces. So these are, like, mini form changes. So he uses a hammer, and he gets, like, a little hammer. And, like, it doesn't complete the belt. Like, it's just, like, a little power up thing, I said that these remind me of like the X-Aid. They remind me of the X-Aid power coins, where people use them and they got like speed boosts or something. This feels like somebody at Bandai or Toei was like, what if we made those like gimmick toys? Because this feels like kind of the same idea of like Geats hits a power up and he gets a hammer thing, but now they've made it a toy. And then there's an arrow one too, and Geats gets an arrow, and then we'll get to zombie in a second. But like it just adds to the playability of this thing, where now like there are these big buckles that people need to like get their full armor, but we're gonna see characters use these to get like little mini power-ups. So I don't think you see it in the trailer, but there's a couple images as well, and there's some of this in the trailer as well, where we see Dapan is gonna use the arrow. We already saw Ginpen using the arrow. Nago is gonna use the hammer a bit. Geats is gonna be using hammer, arrow, water, as we saw. So like, I don't know, like the thing I think with all of this for me is that they don't feel like toys. Like these feel so integrated into the show, where these just feel like it's the Desire Grand Prix. There are these little power-ups that people can use with the belt. The belt, like, you don't use it as a toy. I mean, it is a toy, but like when to transform into a Kamen Rider, you don't need to push all these buttons, flick all these switches, attach a big toy into it. You just like stick a little thing in it, and then you just wear the belt, and you're a Kamen Rider. So like it feels so integrated into the show, I guess. And then the mix and match thing, like as if the mix and match thing, like I love the mix and match thing, right? Like where you can put the top half or stuff, or the top half on the bottom half, all that stuff. But then, like as they show in this trailer, here's Zombie. This is what Buffa uses. But then it works very differently. This is like a cage opening a zombie hand, so that's awesome. But you can see it's Geats. Geats, I assume this shot is just for the trailer. But I mean, just at least getting to show us Geats using Buffa. Geats using Zombie. So Geats using someone else's gimmick to transform. Like Magnum is gone. It's just Zombie. He's using someone else's gimmick. This is like the same extent of like if Saber did the Dragon Alangina thing for that one episode, but if he didn't have Dragon. So it's just like Saber Alangina. They would have never done that in Saber. But in this show, we can get Geats using someone else's base form thing to transform. Also, this is from the show. This is just Dapan using Magnum, which is Geats' base form. So this is just another rider. This isn't the secondary, the tertiary, the quaternary. This is just the panda dude using the main rider's base form to transform. And it's so cool. Oh man, it's not only the fact it has like the belt and all this has all these abilities, like all this mix and match capabilities. It's the fact that at least in these first few episodes, they are going to be using that mix and match capabilities. We are going to see Dapan using our main Kamen Rider's transformation device. We are going to see our main Kamen Rider create an inverse of his base form. We are going to see our main Kamen Rider go into an incomplete base form, and another incomplete base form, and another incomplete base form, and then his base form, but then a different version of his base form. So it's like, oh man, they're going all out with all of the things they've set up. They're using all the things. I think at the end of this trailer, they show us a bit more. And then there's like still like the little details as well. Like Magnum has this gun, like there's this gun that goes with Magnum. So if someone uses Magnum, they'll have this gun. Zombie clearly has the same thing going with it, where if someone uses Zombie, they get this big zombie chainsaw thing as a weapon. Another thing too is that like the designs of the the designs of the characters are like, well, they change with the usage of the different buckles. So here with Geats, you can see the mini raised buckles. That's what I've been calling them, the mini ones. The mini raised buckles don't add, or sorry, okay, wait, let's go back to entry. In entry, Geats and everyone, they just have the helmet, right? They just have their Kamen Rider mask. And that's another thing too, like, it's their base forms are just like a black suit in this mask, because Kamen Rider means masked rider. So the only thing that differentiates them is the mask. Like a kitsune mask, a cat mask, a tanuki mask. This mask is what differentiates them. The common in Kamen Rider is important. And then, okay, so then there's that. But then they have like a missing jaw. Like there's no jaw. And their eyes are like white or black. So it's like empty. Then if they use these mini raised buckles, they get like yellow eyes. But they still don't get a bottom jawline. Only if they use the big buckles do they get like unique, or in some cases they get unique eyes. In some cases they also don't get unique eyes. So at least when like Magnum's used, Geats gets red eyes, and he also gets a white jawline now. So he's completed like more. When Boost is used, now he gets a red jawline and he gets colored eyes as well. And then we can later see when he uses Zombie, where's Zombie? He gets Buffa's purple jawline, and he also gets the red eyes, or like the orange eyes that Buffa has when he uses Zombie. And then in this shot with Dapan using Magnum, he has Geats' jawline. Like he has a part of our main Kamen Rider on his jaw, and now he has the red eyes as well. And then here we also get, here's Nago using hammer, and then here's Shield, Mary using Shield. And then you can see, I mean, Shield is kind of what we expected, but I mean, we just you can see more of the same, that we're going to see someone else using the hammer gimmick. Shield gimmick is being used, and they both get the yellow eyes. And it's actually, this also adds more onto the fact they're going to be like helping each other out, because they're here with each other. Oh, here's Ginpen using arrow. So here's everyone as well. You can see the black eyes. So this season aesthetically is fantastic. I've just been going on for like 10 minutes or something about all this look of this. I could go on forever with these aesthetics. I have not like been so interested in everything about a Rider season since ever. Like genuinely, I've never been this excited for like everything in a Rider season since like never ever been this excited. So I can't wait for the show. Also, as a few of you point out, excuse me. The weapons, the mini weapons are repaints of other stuff. The hammer is or let's go back. The hammer is repainted from Gridon's acorn hammer from Gaim. The arrow is a repaint of, does anyone remember the Kamen Rider Over Quartzer movie? I've done a review on that movie if you didn't know. But one of the quartzers, they had like an arrow thing, a crossbow. So this is that. They just took that, they dipped it in neon green paint, and now it is a Geats weapon. What else is there? This thing, the shield is the shield is taken right from Forze with their shield arm, but it was previously used in Saber for Emotional Dragon. So they just that shield is has gone around in just a few years, so that's funny. And then they don't show water for some reason, like, really, in this trailer, even though, like, it's the first one we saw of these in, like, a magazine scan. Yeah, you can't even see it in the trailer, but water's really fun to me because they took Needle Hedgehog from Build and they tore off the firefighter or the fire truck arm, like the ladder arm, the hose arm, and they painted that blue and gave it like a couple extra pieces, and now it's like a pistol. No, not a pistol. It's like a rifle, a water rifle, and that's really cool. I would have never thought of that. So a lot of people have been like, actually, I haven't really seen many people getting upset about the fact they're repaints, which is good because it's, I don't know, like, were they ever going to use this thing, this arrow thing from Overquartzer, which people are reminding me was Zamonis's bow, thank you. They were never going to use this thing again. Like, at least, like, if the Quartzers came back, I mean, we literally saw the Black RX one came back and he had a different weapon. I mean, he never used this thing, but it's like they weren't going to use this ever. The Forza hammer clearly was already used with emotional, or the Forza shield was already used with emotional dragon. The Shobosha, someone reminded me, thank you. The Shobosha arm, we were never going to see that form again. The one thing I am a little not upset about, but I'm like, did we need to repaint that? Is the hammer, just because that was a main Kamen Rider's weapon from Gaim, and now it's not. It's gonna be in this show, and it kind of feels like overly detailed. Like it's just a little hammer thing, and it looks like an acorn. So I also didn't notice until I'm looking at it now, but the hammer is so big in Nago's hands, so that's fun. Someone asked, what's hanging off of Geats? I would assume you were talking about the muffler thing on his back, which is, he's got a scarf again, like double the original Kamen Riders. So that's really cool as well. That's another little design cue that's just super cool. But also what's even cooler about it to me is that he's not the only one with something like that. He's got this cool scarf thing. Tycoon, I don't think we get a good shot of Tycoon in this, but Tycoon has like, oh yeah, you can see Tycoon has like a little wrap around his leg. Nago has these cat claws on her arms, and then Buffa has, that's not Buffa. Buffa has a scarf trench coat thing on his waist. So at least these main four riders, they each have like cute little design details just for their entry forms. So they've got a little bit of personality in entry forms. But the other ones don't. So a lot of people have been talking about, we're probably gonna see those other three, Ginpen, Mary, and Dupon, will probably bite the dust sooner rather than later. Sorry. Just because they're not in the press conference, they are just kind of people here for now. It doesn't seem like they're going to be getting armor, like bigger armor, because it's not in the scans we've gotten so far. It seems like only Nago and Tycoon are getting extra armor later on. So okay, there is something interesting about Dapon, which is actually, before I get to that, because I did see people point this out, and I have also been wondering this myself. So there's been a bit of discussion about what the the mini buckles will do on the bottom, because for the big buckles, like, it's pretty obvious they create a pair of legs. Now that we've seen Magnum and Boost as chests and legs, it's kind of clear. Like, we haven't seen Zombie used as legs yet, but it's pretty obvious. Like, I mean, it can become a pair of legs, and kind of how that will work out. One of his legs are just gonna have a big claw. I think he's just gonna have a big claw on his foot, which is pretty cool. So it's obvious how this stuff is gonna work out as arms and legs, but for these mini ones, it's not as clear because they're just Like, all they add is a weapon. They're basically just supposed to be a weapon. So he gets like a little pad on his chest, a little bit of armor. I really like that. And then he gets a weapon. So the question is what... So a lot of people actually were thinking they wouldn't even be used as legs, because they actually... Bandai isn't advertising that. Like, they're just... Like, they're showing like all these forms the base form set can do, but they don't show hammer on the legs. And I'm like, guys, you should be able to use hammer on the legs. At least like as a toy. You can use it because you can either revolve it on, so there's that, or you can just put it on because it's obvious that the buckles don't have any differentiation to what side you can put them on. So a lot of people were thinking they just wouldn't use the buckles on the legs in the show, or the mini ones. But then we get this shot in the trailer, and at least Geats is going to revolve on water to his legs, and I can't believe those people at Toei, Bandai, whoever cut together this trailer, like, they only show the top part with Boost. It's like, guys, we know what Boost looks like as a chest. I want to see what water looks like as legs. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm opening up this to the floor. What do you guys think water will do? And all the others will do as legs, as a leg piece. Personally, I think, I don't know, I could kind of see them just not doing anything. Like, they'll probably put, like, this contraption, they'll just put it, like, on the thigh, and they'll put, like, a knee pad, and then they'll probably just get the buckle, or the armor, not the buckle, the armor, the thing. The thing will come back. What am I talking about? Okay, if in this situation where Geats revolves on Boost water, so he's got water on the leg, I'm assuming that he's gonna get like the water pad will be on like his right thigh. He'll get the knee pad on his left knee, and then he can still hold the water rifle, but now the whole thing is on the legs. That's what I'm assuming is gonna happen. Alternatively, since they don't show it, maybe it's like a gag, like he tries to do that and he just like dies, and they're like, no, you can't do that. The weird lady just shows up and she's like, no, you can't do that. And then she shoots him with like a normal gun, and then the show ends. Let's see what people are saying. Oh yeah, Forze leg pieces, it could be like Forze, where they get like he had like a whole gun strapped to his leg or whatever. Knee pads just gives the weapon, that makes sense. Leg shield, yes, that is the shield module from Forze. Water hydrant leg, maybe it won't do anything. Maybe it's going to function like a surfing gimmick, and a rider kick, it could be like an attack. That could be interesting. So yeah, actually, yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things it could do. So yeah, who knows what these buckles will do on the legs. I'm going with it at least just gives him the weapon. And then it gives him like some leg armor. So, because I don't know, because it would be weird to have like the water symbol on the leg. So maybe it just gives them like a generic like leg armor, and then it gives them the buckle, or it gives them the buckle weapon. So yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, the thing about Dapan, I was gonna talk about Dapan. So there are 2 Dapans in these trailers. If we go back to the first trailer, which, let me make sure that worked out. Yes, excellent. Okay, so the first trailer, we go here. This Dapan has white ears, and it has a blue like crest, or a blue gem on their head. Okay, like a couple days ago, when we got a magazine leak of the suits as well, we had this same Dapan, like this exact same Dapan, the white ears, blue gem, and they had the arrow as well, but that's not important. The important part is the ears and stuff. Then later in this same trailer, we get to see when we get all the riders here, we have Dapan with black ears. Then, if we go back to the toy trailer, Dapan has black ears again. The Dapan using Magnum has black ears. So there are two Dapans. There is black ears Dapan, which we have seen a lot of, and there's at least a white ears Dapan that will appear in episode 1. So these they have to be two. Like, it can't be. It's a super weird thing for Toei to like forget to paint the ears and put that in the magazine and in episode 1. Maybe that is the case because that, I don't know, that is a Toei thing. Does anyone remember when we had that TV Asahi magazine scans, or no, it's not TV Asahi, Televikun magazine scans, and they had a shot of Emotional Dragon, or sorry, it was Emotional Dragon with Elemental Dragon's head, and that just wasn't in the episode. It was just a random thing they put in the magazine accidentally. That could be the case here. They forgot to paint Dapan's ears for episode 1, and then they put that in the magazine, and then they're like, oh wait, pandas have black ears, and then they have to repaint it. But it could also be that there are two Dapans, because there is a rumor going around that Dapan is going to die and or leave the Desire Grand Prix, and then there will be a second Dapan that takes their place, but they're called Punk Jack. And Punk Jack is Dapan, but they're orange. And the idea is now they're supposed to be referencing a pumpkin and a panda. And then they get like a kaiju buckle, apparently. Excuse me. And then the kaiju buckle is their like armored attachment and stuff like that. Dapan's eyes also have more black around them than the white version. Do they? Let's see. So this Dapan has this looking eye color. If we look at Dapan 1, hello? Oh yeah, there's like more black, I think. Dapan 2? No, I think they're the same. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because we only had this one blurry shot of Dapan 1. But either way, I don't know what's happening here. A few people have asking, is Dapan male or female? The thing is, we don't know. we could. I think there were rumors that said they were female. But in the episode, they also, or at least in this shot, like, well, in this shot, Nago kind of looks like, Dapan looks like they're built like a man. Nago also looks the smallest. She looks like the only woman. There's also this, where's that other shot? That shot where we have, like, all the people together. That one, where did it go? This one. If these are all 7 riders, Nago is the only woman here, for sure. Like, she's tiny, and everyone else is big. I mean, not that women can't be tall, but also, like, her body posture and stuff. It seems like she's the only woman, so Dapan is probably a man. Also, this is Kamen Rider. Two female Kamen Riders right off the bat? No. Toei would not approve of that. So this is Dapan's probably a man. But yeah, I don't know. The Dapan mystery. That's what we're gonna call this for now. Because I don't know. There's not really anything else to go on other than, like, they have different colored ears and gems. But it could be a Toei thing. Like, Toei just forgot to, like, they just changed the look of this character. And then now it looks like an actual panda. Because again, I wouldn't put it past Toei, but since we know that Dapan is changing, it kind of would be kind of an interesting thing to have to switch out Dapan like very early, and then there's another Dapan later. that would be like kind of foreshadowing, or like this is like a joke character, like they just throw Dapons around, because I don't know, Dapon seems like a little gremlin, like at least in this shot here, like they seem very playful with what's happening. So Dapon seems like a gremlin to me, so it kind of seems like a Toei thing to be like, oh, let's like make this panda with a big ass head, let's make them a joke. And then it bites everyone in the butt when it turns out they're like they had the kaiju buckle or whatever. Someone said Kamen Rider Mary, rider with the pink helmet, is the second girl rider. That is not confirmed at all. Once again, looking at the last image, it does seem like they kind of have a male build. And again, we have the picture of the 7. If the picture of the 7 people are believed to be all 7 riders, it seems like it's just Nago, who's a woman. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Yes, it does seem like we have no evil rider. The closest we have is Buffa D's nuts, but he does seem like he's just a normal participant. He's not really, he just looks kind of sinister, but he's not really evil. So that's another thing that's super interesting to me, is that there's no villain faction. Like, there's no part in this trailer where they cut to 3 people in the room and they're like, we have to destroy humanity, or we have to revive our evil overlord. It's just the 4 riders and then the people in the Desire Grand Prix, and we get a bunch of shots of the other riders. So this feels like we're actually like they're actually going through with the rider v rider thing, in the sense that all our antagonists are actually Kamen Riders, but they're not like bad guys. Like they're all part of the Desire Grand Prix, and some of them are just not good people, or at least they're not going to be on the same side. So there's anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, there's no villain faction. So like we're going rider v rider, but not like the sense of like, oh, Hirobi's the bad guy of the show and he turns into a Kamen Rider. It's like everyone's fighting the monsters and some are fighting other Kamen Riders as well. Which is super cool. It also reminds me of Dawn Brothers as well, where there's the monsters in Dawn Brothers. If you're watching Dawn Brothers, the monsters are not the bad guy. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The monsters are the bad guys, but there's no one sending out the monsters. They just appear. And our main bad guys are the Noto, but the Noto are fighting the monsters much like the Dawn Brothers. So they're all on the same side, kind of. But the Noto are going about it in a different way, in that they're just killing people. So they're the bad guys of the show. And it seems like this is the same move, where we just have monsters that are just appearing. We fight monsters. And then these other Kamen Riders are like the actual antagonists, kind of, sort of. And I don't know, it's super cool. Because also I've seen some people point out as well that it doesn't seem like we're getting like monsters of the week. I mean, maybe we still could, but like we just see these grunts. Like we just see grunts they're fighting. It's not like Geats is fighting like, or Buffa is fighting like a monster, like a special monster suit, like we always get in Kamen Rider or Sentai even. It's just that they're just fighting grunts. So it seems like the characters are all Kamen Riders, I guess. They're all the good guys, but they're also not the good guys. So it seems like there's a real effort to do something different with this season, which, now that I've actually know, this thing does look kind of like a monster. And we can see, you can see Geats with the water buckle as well. This thing does look like a monster, like a normal monster of the week. So maybe I'm wrong, but one other thing. No, I was gonna say something and I forgot it. So we are going to. Oh, okay, yeah. I've been haven't been bringing this up because I've forgotten. So we have the main writer. The main writer's been a bit of a discussion point. Because we are getting back the X8 and 01 writer for the show, which you might be surprised to hear I am not super excited about. Because so I love X8, right? I made like an hour-long discussion on X8. I haven't finished Rider Potential X8 because I still have other X8 stuff I want to do before I finish everything with that Rider Potential X8 video. But I don't really want the X8 Rider back because, well, right now I'm mixed on it actually now because the thing that makes me not want the X8 Rider back is 01. And it's not the fact I don't like 01, even though it is one of my lesser favorite Rider seasons. It's the fact that there's a lot in 01 that is kind of just copy and pasted from X8. Like Izu and Poppy are like very similar. Like it's the cutesy, fun Rider girlfriend, not girlfriend, she's a friend that's a girl, and like she's connected to the main bad guys, and like she's mysterious with a backstory. And it's also kind of a lot like this where is she, this girl, like she's connected to the big plot, she's mysterious, she's friendly, and she helps out, and then it's gonna be like, oh no, she's not as friendly as you thought. It seems like we're kind of doing that again. What's his face? Parrot and Jin, Parrot from X8 and Jin from from 01 are very similar as well. In the sense they're both part of the villain faction. They are like, they're friendly. People even said that Jin looked like Parrot when we got the first looks at 01. And then, like, they both have a form that uses new stuff, and then they become friends with the main protagonist, and they're part of the villain faction, but then they try to see a different way that they can help the villain faction. Someone pointed out that Genmu and Guy are very similar. They're both people pulling. The Guy is essentially, like, just uses Yua to do this, but they're both, like, mysterious people who are pulling the strings in the first arc of the show as presidents of a company, and then in the second part of the show they become more upfront about what they're doing, and then they're trying to do their stuff, and then they fail, and then they get redeemed, or maybe not redeemed, and then they have to work with the main writer. They both also have 45 episodes, but that's not important. I just wanted to point it out. It is kind of funny. So 01 kind of just feels like, I mean, obviously 01 is very different. Actually, even like the Bugsters and the Humagears don't seem very similar. I would not have thought of them being very similar, but I've seen a bunch of people talk about or recently I saw people say that the Humagears and Bugsters kind of had the same goal of, like, they are looked down upon by humans, and now they want to revolutionize the world so that they're in charge. I mean, it is essentially the same goal. It's just something I never really picked up on watching 01. But a lot of the stuff I previously mentioned, like, it was kind of apparent watching 01. You're like, oh, this is kind of like what this guy did a few years ago with X8. So I'm kind of like, when it was announced he was going to be writing again, I wasn't excited because I wasn't excited not because I don't love X8, because I do love X8, and not because I'm not the biggest fan of 01, because I'm not the biggest fan of 01, but I don't think it's a terrible show. It's just that I like Rider because every year it's, like, different. Oh yes, someone also pointed out Well, it's not the fact they're similar. It's just this is a thing the writer does that he doesn't really kill anyone. He just revives them. Like, no one dies in 01, no one dies in X8. So, it just, I didn't want another lesser copy of X8, I guess. And especially with this show, more apparent is like X8. Like, they're in a game, a battle royale. Like, this kind of feels like, what if they made X8 like, what, 6 years later when Fortnite was a thing? Has been happening recently. That's when it becomes mediocre, but that's not the point. I wanted something different, but here, like, at least it feels like we are getting something different. Like, no, there's no monster or villain faction. It's just Kamen Riders fighting. The whole mix and match thing, like, they're using these riders in a way we've never seen before. In the sense, they're all these blank forms, and we're gonna see them like run around with weird power-ups and stuff before then they upgrade to their full rider suits. That's awesome. We've never seen that. So, like, on the one hand, I guess, essentially, before we got all the press conference stuff, I heard we're getting the X8 rider back, the 01 rider back. I'm like, oh, he's just going to write X8, but not as good again. But now, actually seeing all the stuff, now I'm kind of thinking maybe we are getting something different. Like, obviously, we're probably going to get some kind of stuff relevant to X8 because that's probably just inevitable. That's just how he writes. But it seems like we're at least getting like something new and different at the same time. And if that's true, we may have a competitor with my favorite season of Kamen Rider, because X8 is still my favorite. And this, at least visually, aesthetically, already has everything X8 has going, running for its money. Like, Saber, honestly, Saber I don't think is my favorite aesthetically Kamen Rider anymore. Or no, I don't know. I like the suits in Saber more, but I like the concept of all this stuff way more with all the... let's get that other trailer. Like, the mix and match gimmick stuff is so incredible to me. So that already has put Geats above Saber, like, in terms of concept toy stuff, which was already above X8 in terms of concept toy stuff. So if the show can deliver on all of that as well, we'll have to see what happens with my feelings on X8 will never change. We'll just have to see how my ranking with X8 will change. So, yeah. Bye. I'm leaving. No, I'm kidding. It's not like I'm ending the live stream. But, I mean, it is kind of... There is nothing else, really, to talk about with Geats. I mean, I've kind of been talking about whatever for a while now. So... yeah, Geats. I'm very excited for Geats. Geats. At first, honestly, I wasn't really, like, feeling, like, all the rumors. Like, but we got a ton of rumors that were saying that Geats was going to be based on a wolf and an axe, and it was going to look like Build, and I was just like, okay, fine. Like, usually whenever I hear this stuff, I'm never, like, super excited for it or super against it. I'm just like, okay, it looks like a season of Kamen Rider that I will be watching, or a season of Sentai I will be watching. But it wasn't until we got, like, the look of the suits that I was like, or we got that first look at the Geats suit, and I was like, oh man, the at least the main rider looks very cool. But like, there were some rumors just before the suit dropped that said, like, he was going to be doing this mix and match thing. And I was like, if that happens, I'll have to buy everything again. And then they did it. So now I have to buy everything again, like I did in Saber. So at least, I can make videos on it. So actually, I assume you guys would like to see me make videos, unboxing all the Geats stuff, because I will definitely do it if you guys want me to. I'll probably do it even if even if you don't really want me to. Because I kind of want to do it anyways. So, but I'm definitely, I mean, because I'm so excited about the toys, I feel like I might as well do it anyway. The sequel to the Saber unboxings, the Geats unboxings. Yeah. The rumor said there will be 50 riders. That was not a rumor. I've seen a lot of people talk about that. That was not a rumor. That was a joke. Someone said, pretending it was a rumor. They weren't trying to trick people into thinking it was a rumor. They were just making a joke, and a lot of people thought it was real. So that's not real. It's just a joke people were saying. See, everyone says I want to see Geats unboxing, so that's cool. I will try to do Geats unboxings then as the show goes on. We'll have to see how frequent it is, because I am going to be buying mostly everything from the US retailers, because it's just cheaper for me. I'm in the US. I'm okay with waiting for the cheaper prices, and I like supporting the US releases of the stuff. So they're kind of delayed. I think it's just a shipping thing because of the state of the world right now. I don't know if it's always supposed to be like that, but at least we're told that some of the first stuff is going to be delayed. Was for it's going to be delayed until like October or November. So, well, how frequent the unboxings will be up in the air, but I will definitely try to unbox everything then. If you guys want to see it, because I'll definitely do it because I'm excited for it. So, actually, I will admit I am lying. I'm not buying everything, because the Revice, the 01 buckle is up for pre-order, and I'm not buying that because I don't like how those buckles look. Let me get a picture of the buckle for you guys, because let's get a bit negative with Geats. Give me a second because I need to get a picture of it. Kamen Rider, spelled Rider right, Geats. Oop. 01 buckle. So I'm going to ask, will we get a Demons Driver unboxing video? Maybe. I'm not sure. I do have footage of that filmed. It's on Patreon, so if you want to see me unbox it, for sure, it's $2. You can see it on Patreon. But I'm not sure if I'll do a whole video on it, because it has been a while. And if it's not like a new thing, unboxings aren't too successful, so I don't know. If enough people yell at me that they want a Demons Driver unboxing, I'll probably do it. I'll upload it quickly. I might just save it until I get the Deathstream driver and then do a combined video with that, because they are the same thing. So here's the 01 buckle. There's also a Revice buckle that's like a campaign item, but I just grabbed the 01 buckle. So I don't like these things. This is genuinely the only thing from Geats that I'm really not excited for. Cause as much as I'm oh, the X-Aid writer's back, it's just a fact of I would have rather gotten a new dude or woman to write the show. So we could get something completely new and different, but I'm not I'm still going to watch the show. I'm probably, if anything, I might have a better chance of enjoying it. But in this case, it's I didn't buy this thing. I just don't like how it looks. It's very simple. I just don't like how it looks. I don't like how they've stuck the picture of the driver on. It just looks really lazy to me. Legend Rider buckles are kind of or not buckles, just Legend Rider gimmicks in general. Usually they're perfectly fine. Obviously I'm buying all the X-Aid gadgets, but that's actually different because I'm buying all the gadgets. The Wonder Ride books, I'm grabbing my X-Aid one over here so I can look at it. The Wonder Ride books were incredible, in terms of Legend, implementation, because they gave them all like this super cool art on the front to fit in with the Wonder Ride book aesthetic, and then like the inside part is kind of okay, but at least like the visual front of it was a super interesting take on the riders for the Legend Rider gimmick. But obviously all the gimmicks in Revice are Legend gimmicks, so I'm kind of ignoring that. But I don't know, for these it's just like they stuck the driver on the belt or on the buckle, and it just looks bad. Also because like they were doing this weird thing where it's like molded in. You can kind of see like they molded details in to the suit, or not the suit. They molded details into like the clear plastic, and then they put a sticker on. Honestly, if it was just a sticker, I would like it a bit better. Probably still wouldn't buy it, but it just looks weird. I will admit, the one semi-interesting thing is that when you use them in the belt, it plays the full-on jingle for the riders. So they've demoed the Revice buckle, and it just plays the base form Revice jingle, the whole Rex genome, and then you can see the 01 buckle, or the 01 buckle, they've shown like pictures of it, and it plays the whole 01 thing. Like it even does the Prog Rise, and then it plays the rest of that. So but even that is like kind of like lame to me, I guess, because it's like, oh, you just copy and pasted the sounds from the other belts, and now this thing does it. Okay. Like they just kind of didn't really, like, for how inventive and awesome everything else in the show is, this stuff is like, oh, you just kind of copy and pasted some other stuff. Okay. I would have rather, like, they could have honestly visually done anything else. Like, they could have done the symbol, like the 01 symbol on this thing would have been really cool, especially like with it fits better with the other buckles, like the other mini buckles, because they have like a symbol of the like the arrow or the hammer. This would have like a symbol of 01, and then you push the button. I don't mind it's a button, I just don't mind how it looks, or I do mind how it looks. And honestly, and yeah, the jingle just being the 01 jingle or the Revice jingle is kind of boring. The raise buckles, none of the raise buckles have electronics so far. They've done a demo, so now we can confirm. The mini ones do not have electronics. The big ones do not have electronics. They're entirely rail systems. But probably eventually, I mean, it's almost guaranteed eventually we're gonna get ones that have electronics. So yeah, but actually I'm I'm honestly perfectly fine that these Legend buckles don't appeal to me, because then it means I don't have to buy them and I can save some money. So you know what, it's fine, it's whatever. I'll probably buy these. I said I'll buy these in like 5 years when they're on buy for like $3 each. I'll buy all maybe then I'll buy all of them, but for now I'm like, I do not need that. Actually, no, let's get the poster back. Yes, look at that poster. I saw a few people asking earlier about extra riders. Right now, all we know about is all the riders on the poster here, and Punk Jack replacing Dapan. Oh, you can see Dapan here as Black Ears, so there's that. Other than that, that's all the riders we know about 100%. However, we got like a little blurb from the writer of X8 and 01 and now Geats. He said that we should expect more riders in this season than any other season before, which is very scary, because because they can very easily just add new riders, because it's just the same undersuit and a new helmet. So like literally, like they can kill off Mary, make a new helmet, bam, it's a new Kamen Rider. Like they can easily pump out Kamen Riders in the season, because the Kamen Riders are just black suits, and then you can add all the buckles onto them. So I love that concept. It's a super cool concept for them to add a ton of Kamen Riders, but it's also like, oh my god, how many Kamen Riders could we get? I do hope, though, we get a bunch more with the Desire Driver, though. I really don't want a bunch of other drivers in this season, because that's so annoying in Revice. I don't even buy like any of the, I mean, I bought a few Revice stuff, of course, but like it must be horrendous for people to keep up with the Revice stuff, because you have to buy so many drivers, most of which are premium. So I really hope they just do a ton of Desire Driver stuff. Like, you can make 50 million Desire Driver ID cores. I will buy them as long as they're US release. I don't want a ton of different drivers in this season. Did I get the Revice driver? No, and I don't want it. I was considering getting it so I could get like the big set, because the big set I've seen is kind of cheap. So I was like almost considering it, but then Geats dropped, and I was like, oh wait, no, I don't want that anymore. I want all this stuff. I'll get the Revice driver, who knows when, but right now I'm focusing on Geats and X8 in the background so I can get more Gashettes, because I want to. I do one thing I do want to see from Geats in terms of riders is a bunny rider. I want to see someone with a bunny hat, a little bunny hat mask thing, and then they can use whatever ID core stuff. I just want to see a bunny because I like bunnies, so it would be cute to have a bunny, a bunny character. That's actually another thing cool. I really like the the usage of animals, because animals have kind of been very annoying in Kamen Rider recently. Like, they just reuse animals all the time, especially in Reiwa, because we got 01, they're all based on animals. Saber did not base them all on animals as much, but we definitely had we had a whole section of the gimmicks were called animals. And then in Revice, they were all animals, and that for Revice, it's like very weird how they were all animals, because we had the main dinosaur, and then it was like, oh, there's just a bunch of animals now. So for Geats, I really like how they are all based on animals again, but they aren't using animals. Like, Geats is based on a fox, but he's not using like a fox gimmick. Like, he's not using a thing that yells fox, or the belt yells fox when he transforms. He just happens to look like a kitsune. Tycoon just happens to look like a tanuki. Nago just happens to look like a cat. Like, they all just happen to look like animals, but they're not using like animal gimmicks. So I think that's really neat. I think that's really cool. So I'd like to see a bunny. That's it. What about the two-side driver? Nope. I have the Demons driver, and the only other driver I've pre-ordered for Revice is the Veil Deathstream driver, and then that's the last driver I'm buying for Revice. After that, I don't want any of the others. I don't like any of the others enough to buy them, at least. So, though I think Ryuki or Gaim will appear in a crossover movie. Okay, I think we're gonna get X8 and 01 appearing in some crossover with Geats, because we've gotten the X8-01 President's crossover and the second X8-01 President's crossover. Now, the writer of both of those shows is making a new show. So, it feels like almost guaranteed that we're going to get a President Special 3 with 01, X8, and Geats. Someone from Geats. Maybe not the main writer of himself, but maybe Buffa, so we can get all three of the purple. No, Thouser's not purple. So maybe this guy. Maybe this guy becomes a writer, and then he shows up in the Resident Special or something. Because also there were rumors that Geats was going to be like a new generation Fies, and Fies is now playing a part in the President Specials to some extent. So maybe Smart Brain is behind the Desire Grand Prix and then all of that, but they're only going to reveal that in a special. I would assume it's going to all take place in a special, but I do think we're getting a President Special 3, and it's going to involve the Geats characters, some of them. So, I will watch that. That sounds really cool if it happens. Especially because Kuroda's actor said he has a special announcement to make like a week or two after Geats premieres. So it's like, pray tell, what is that special announcement? It could be anything. So favorite rider. I'm assuming Tokudub is asking about Geats riders, because my favorite rider is Exade. But for Geats, I don't know, because Geats obviously design-wise is my favorite overall with all the armors, or with all the attachment pieces. But Buffa looks really great as well. Dapan looks really funny with the big panda head. That's awesome for a Kamen Rider to look like that. I really love Nago's helmet with the cat ear. The headphones are cool, and I really love the design of the eyes with all the lines. Character-wise, for who we know so far, again, I really like all of them. I like Geats is finally a badass main rider. Tycoon is a wholesome dude. Buffa is just a man, and I think that's really interesting. And Nago is a YouTuber, and I'm a YouTuber too, so I like that. So I don't know, I like all of them. But at least design-wise, I can definitely say Geats. So, we have a President Special 2? Yes, we do. That's the one where Genmu Muso comes from. Genmu Muso and Arc Thouser. Watch Kuroda's actor leak Exade 5 years later. Well, it would be really weird to have Exade 5 years later because Exade is now 6 this year. I mean, technically, I guess technically it hasn't been 5 years since the show ended, I think. When did the show end? Give me a second. Kamen Rider Exade ended August 27th. So, hey, maybe they will do a 5 years later, 5 years after the show ends, because that's what O's did, I think. So, someone wants the Desire Driver. There are links in the description. If you're in the United States, you can get it for a really good price. Thoughts on the cinematography? It looks like a change of pace over the same thing of the past few years. I mean, it's nice. I don't really feel the big difference in cinematography. It does just kind of look like normal Kamen Rider cinematography, to me. But I'm also not that well versed in that, so I mean, it looks fine. It looks exciting. It doesn't take away my excitement for the show. Thoughts on Juga? I hate Juga. I like the suit. It's a really cool looking suit. The concept of it as a suit and stuff is cool, but I really hate the person using it is becoming a Kamen Rider for that reason. The placement in the show is so stupid. The way it's gonna, like, I mean, whether or not it's a final boss, it's super dumb. Like, if it's the final boss of the show, it's like, why are we doing that? If it's not the final boss of the show, it's also, why are we doing this? It just, either way you slice it, I'm just like, why are we doing this? I don't understand at all, and it's really dragging Revice down. These last 4 episodes kind of, I mean, already the concept of Juga drags down Revice for me, and including Juga in the show. We'll have to see how the last 2 episodes do in the show, or else I don't know, Revice is really gonna kind of fall flat for me. Are we getting 8th Rider for Kamen Rider Geats? Well, yeah, we're gonna get, like, a lot of them. We're gonna get a lot. Well, okay, if we go off of what the writer said, where he said more than we've ever seen before, at least, I don't know the highest rider count. I would assume he's talking about in show. We're gonna get more riders in show than we've ever seen before, and I believe that like Gaim or Hibiki clocked in at like 18 or 20 in show, so we'll probably get at least like 24. I think we'll get an official release considering they're pushing the merchandise. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I will definitely say it's more likely we're gonna get an official release now than ever before. Especially the live stream for this press conference wasn't a live stream, but it wasn't region locked. It was available worldwide on the Bandai website. So that alone is kind of like, whoa. That's big, kind of, which is kind of crazy to say that's big, but it is true. That was a big thing. So I'm personally, I would say don't hold your breath. Don't expect an official release because Toei is Toei. So don't expect an official release, but I will say there is a bigger chance we get an official release for the show than ever before, which is kind of crazy. How would I feel if we got a sports season? That would be cool. Am I over Revice? Yes, I have. Especially with Geats now, I'm like, I just want to watch Geats now. I want the toys now. I want to see the show now. With Juga running around in Revice, I'm like, I don't really want to watch this show anymore. I'm wondering how the emblems in the middle of each Desire driver is going to translate into the toys. Are they going to sell each one separately? Will you be able to change them out? Well, we've seen in the show, and as the toys, you can pull them out and stick them in. They are just, within the show, they're just gimmicks. And then as toys, they're also just gimmicks. They're transformation devices, actually, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, with Gaim and Saber, which are the last two times we did these kind of faceplate things, the faceplates were just part of Gaim drivers. They just appeared. The emblems were just part of the sword driver swords. They just appeared whenever. But in this case, is like they have to put it on to transform. So that's crazy. But I believe that it's kind of weird how they're selling them, because I don't think we have listings for how Mary, Ginpen, or Dapon's emblems are being sold, or their ID cores are being sold. We know Buffa's is coming with his zombie buckle. We know Nago's is coming with a buckle as well. She's gonna be getting like a special buckle or something, and she's gonna be getting like some special buckle. I think it's called a beat buckle, and it's supposed to be like music, and her emblem's gonna come with that. We know that Tycoon is getting a ninja buckle, but apparently his emblem, his ID core, isn't coming with the ninja buckle. It is coming with a campaign. We've been told there's like gonna be a special Christmas campaign, and that's where the buckle comes from, which is super weird to me. It's like, why would you sell the secondary rider's main gimmick in a campaign? So I don't believe that rumor. I think it's going to come with Ninja, but it seems like their goal is to sell ID cores with the buckles, because they're just little things. It's like, what do you sell that for? Like, I mean they could sell it for whatever they want, I guess. But the other three, like, I don't think they have a release date for their ID cores. So maybe they'll come with weapons, because we do know the Geats Magnum gun weapon is coming with water buckle, the water raised buckle. So maybe the ID cores would come with just random weapons, because there's a bunch of weapons we're getting. I think Nago's getting a weapon, and then Nago's getting a weapon, Tycoon's getting a weapon. Obviously, you can see Buffa is getting a weapon. I kind of hope they don't come with gimmicks, though, because I kind of don't want to buy weapons. I don't really like buying rider weapons that aren't transformation devices, so I would like to skip buying the weapons because I just want buckles. So I pre-ordered the Geats gun, because I feel like I should at least get the main weapon of the show, and it came with the water buckle, and I want the water buckle, but I kind of don't want to buy the other weapons, because I don't really want a bunch of weapons. I don't really like I don't like rider weapons that aren't like transformation devices. They're just kind of meh. Um, so since it is a video game series, I hope it has a crossover with Pac-Man like Xade. I mean, it's not really a video game series. It's more of a game in the sense of like a tournament, like you would call a tournament a game. So I don't. They're not gonna cross over with Pac-Man because it's not a video game. I'm curious how Geats will transform with other riders in the crossovers because I'm assuming the ID core transforms them into entry already. Yes, that is true. However, I mean, I do feel like at a certain point they might do what Xade did, where Xade kind of skips level 1 and would start going right into level 2. They'll they might start doing stuff like that in Geats once people start getting their buckles. We'll probably just see them, like, we'll stop seeing entry forms. We'll probably start seeing people go from entry, or no, not from entry. They'll go from civilian right into their base forms. So the show will probably figure that out before we even get to like the Revice crossover, or hopefully not before the Revice crossover, because I'd like to see entry form for a bit. I don't want the chainsaw. I mean, I would like to buy it, but I also like money, and I kind of don't want. I don't want it enough to spend money on it. So if it doesn't come with a buckle or a core, I'll probably just skip weapons and get them later on. But if they do come with a thing, I guess it's like, okay, I guess I'm buying this weapon. So what kind of variations do I think we'll get with the gimmick items? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. Like, there's so much stuff they could do with the gimmick items, because I mean the base form is a gun and a motorcycle. The other guy has a zombie. Another guy we know, they're like a ninja, and another one's getting a monster. Someone else is getting like music. So, like, who knows what? And they all work differently. So it's like they're who knows what all of these will do. And I love that. Like, you can't predict these gimmicks. There's who knows what they're gonna do. Although I would like to give a few predictions right now. I do think that the final form is going to do something with the ID cores. I don't think it will be a new ID core per se, but I do think the final form, or at least a form, is going to be a buckle that attaches to the middle and creates like a new ID core. So he's going to get like a new entry form, but it's permanently attached to a buckle. So it's like a buckle entry form, I guess. Adding on to that, I do think one of the forms or some rider in the show will have an ability to harness all of the entry weapons. Because, I mean, that just seems like, it seems like a very obvious thing that will happen. It's like, well, it's like Xade. Well, again, since I said the weapons are like Xade's energy items, Paradox was able to harness all the power of the energy items. So I feel like we're going to get someone who will be able to use all of the energy Geats weapons. What am I talking about? All the entry weapons. I realized I've just been calling them entry weapons, but I don't think they're officially called that. But you get what I mean. I do feel like we're going to get someone who will be able to use all of the entry weapons with just one gimmick, or perhaps I've also seen a few people say, like, we could get something like the Decade Watch from Geo, where Geo could use that watch, and then he could stick the other ride watches onto it. We will probably get some kind of gimmick that creates a full armor, but then you can stick one of the mini raise buckles on it, and then you can use the weapon without getting rid of this armor. I actually would really like that. I think that would be a really cool gimmick. So those are my predictions for like Rider, what toys we'll get, I guess. But I mean, other than that, I don't know. It's very up in the air what we could get, which is awesome. Is Revice good? I've been skipping every other season and rewatching it later, so now I'm pondering if it's worth it. I think it's an alright season. I don't think it's horrible. So I think on the rewatch there are some parts that would actually be better. So If you think some of the suits look cool, then go for it. I think it would be an interesting watch. What do I think about Don Toradora? I think it looks cool. I think individually I like Don Oni Taijin better and the Toradora Jin. But or yeah, that's what it's called. But I like the helmet of the combined form a lot. I think that's the best part of the whole thing. I also just like that we're getting the main Rangers and the 6 Rangers are combining again, because we have not gotten that in a long time. So it's gotta go that we've brought that back. Would I get a Zenkaiger Ranger key set? Yes. If I have 0 Ranger keys, I don't own them a Pirates, but if they announce some premium Bandai set with Majin's Ranger key in it, I will buy it just for hers. I don't think I'll sell. I'll probably keep the Zenkaiger keys. Maybe I'll sell if there's any other keys in that set. I'll have to see, but I'll definitely buy it for the 1 Ranger key, and then I would consider getting them a Pirates. So. What do I think of the Geats figures? I love them. Actually, part of my pre-ordering of the first wave of US stuff, I actually pre-ordered that Rider figure. I haven't bought a Rider figure like ever. I've actually never pre-ordered like a Rider figure line. I only have Muteki from the X8 figure line, and I only have the RKF Muteki from the RKF line. Other than that, I've never like bought like Rider figure lines as they came out. Actually, I didn't even buy the Muteki one like as it came out. It's used. So this is the first figure that I've bought as the figures the first figure line I've bought for the season that's airing, because I love the fact they're using the Revolve On gimmick. Like they've used the the legs are able to become the chest and vice versa, and it's so cool. So I had to buy at least the main figure so I could do that, and I'll probably buy, I mean, they haven't been doing Rider, the Rider line has kind of been dying recently, so they're probably only going to make like 3 more figures, and I'll probably buy all 3 more of those figures. So in the press conference, the 4 main riders are wearing their belts with their cores already inside, but not an entry. That's true. There is one shot of that. I have no idea what's going on with that. I assume it's just like sometimes they don't go into entry form. I don't know. Kamen Rider does stuff like that all the time. Like the Zast's jingle when he henshins into Falcon is different. X-Aids, the Gashets don't always make the level 1 noise. Stuff like that. I mean, Rider just always kind of does stuff like that. And then the CSM does all of it, so, yeah. Oh, this is interesting. You think a form may use a new driver, like with the Ghost Grateful Damashi? I don't know. I mean, maybe they would do a new belt, and then you can use the old ID cores in it. But the thing is, the belt, the ID cores don't make a difference in the belt. Like, the sounds don't change. They're all the same sound. So I don't know if they would really do that, because I would feel like they do that to use the ID course or something, and then they can't. So, Majin has a sound in the Mobiles. Yeah, I do know that. That is why I would buy a Majin key and maybe the Mobiles, so I could do that. I mean, I would buy the Majin key anyway, so. Do I think the helmets will stay the same every form, or will that happen if the rider gets an alternate ID core? I mean, yeah, it seems like the helmets will stay the same. The helmets are locked to an ID core, except for the 2 Dappons, maybe. But, yeah, the ID cores are locked to the helmet. So I would assume it's like Saber, where, like, some of the more powerful buckles would change the helmets, because that is what Saber did, even though the emblems are supposed to determine, like, the eyes and stuff like that, so. Do I ever plan on getting the Zenkaiger mini plot? I do own the 2 main Zenkaios. I own those as mini plot. Those are the only 2 I really want for now. I don't really want any of the other ones. I've considered getting like the other, pretty much all the other ones except the Zenryoku Cannon, just so I could have like all of the other all of the other Zenkaiger stuff as mini plot, but right now I'm happy with just the 2 Zenkaios. So has the DGP happened before, and will there be a past winner involved? That is a great question. It does seem like it's like when we're gonna start watching the show, it has been happening. It hasn't just started, even though I think the trailer does say like that it's just started, but no, because Geats has buckles. Geats and Buffa have bigger buckles, which seem like, you know, big power-ups that you would get from like playing for some time, or after some time you can figure out how to get one. So it does seem like, just for the fact those who seem more experienced, it has been happening for some time. Am I getting the Arc Driver from 01? No, I have 001 merch. I have no need to get that. Even though, I mean, I guess I do have a reason to get it, because I bought the Genmu Muso set, and I'll have a key to use it with, but I don't want it, so I'll probably end up selling that. I hate Juga so much. People's main complaint is that it ruins George's development, but he hasn't really gone through much. I feel like Juga is the climax of his arc, and that actually makes sense. I mean, my thing is I disagree. I don't think it makes sense. It's like, all of a sudden now he's just beating people up. Okay, thanks George for doing that, I guess. Because there's just a decrease in figures sticking to the main rider's gimmick, this might be the only figure. Well, we do have leaks that we're getting at least like Buffa as a figure. Also, it seems like it would be really dumb to make this the only figure, because you've set up a mix and match gimmick. Where's the other mix and matches if this is the only figure? So we're getting at least a few more figures, but yeah, Geats is not the only rider with two halves for this to work, because they'll all get buckles, or at least a few of them are gonna get buckles for more forms. So thank you for stopping by, Dead Galaxy. I actually will probably end soon. How long have we been going for? Actually, we haven't been going. Oh no, never mind. The thing was lagging. We've been going for over 2 hours, but I do like talking about Geats, so we'll probably go for like 10 more minutes or something. Throw out any other questions or whatevers you have about Geats or anything else. Ask away. I'm gonna check Twitter and see if we have any exciting news. I thought that the Juga driver would have been announced by now, but it hasn't. So I guess it's just one of those weird days with with Premium Bandai. Premium Bandai is so weird recently. Like, they have to they're announcing stuff like every week for Revice, and then just like, but they do it at random times. I don't know. Frick Premium Bandai. I hate Premium Bandai. All my homies hate Premium Bandai. I hope to God, since I'm buying all the Geats stuff, that they don't oh my god, I hope they don't go all in on Premium Bandai again. I think Revice sold a little bit less than Saber because so much of their stuff is Premium Bandai. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I think there are official numbers that it sold a little bit less than Saber, and I'm hoping it's because of the Premium Bandai, and I hope they see that and they're like, okay, maybe we should cut back on this stupid Premium Bandai garbage and actually sell toys again on the main line, and then I'll buy them, because then Team Kamen Rider will get them. However, there's also the possibility that, actually, no. no. I hate Premium Bandai. I don't want Premium Bandai stuff. Because I was going to say, since we're getting all the Geats stuff, there is the possibility that the Geats stuff will get the Premium Bandai releases will get domestically imported, and getting the DX line imported is a huge win. But getting the Premium Bandai stuff imported is even bigger of a win, because Premium Bandai on the aftermarket, or the way we get it, is where it gets super expensive, because it gets marked up because it's premium, and then it gets marked up because it has to be marked up and stuff like that. So, and then shipping and stuff. But when it's imported for Premium Bandai, or when Premium Bandai gets imported, none of it's getting marked up. I mean, it's like barely marked up. The shipping's now free. Like, it basically becomes a retail item, because Premium Bandai in Japan isn't that bad. Like, they are technically sold for retail. Like, the Demon's Driver is the only one that's really marked up because it was just so expensive to make. But like the Gene Driver, the Aguilera Driver, or the Libra Driver, and the Weekend Driver, they are not that expensive in Japan. They're like normal driver price in Japan. It's just here in America or wherever else you are, we don't live in Japan. We don't have access to Premium Bandai, so we have to pay more to get the Premium Bandai stuff because it's premium. But if it's imported, it's actually not that bad. However, you still have to wait months for your toy, and it's also still super weird to have a thing marked premium, even though it's a normal item in the show. So I would like minimal Premium Bandai. Obviously, we're going to get Premium Bandai. It's kind of inevitable at this point. But I would like if we went back to just like classic Premium Bandai, where it's just like a movie driver, like a movie driver's Premium Bandai. That's fine. It's not really, but it kind of makes sense. Like random stuff, but not like the main. At least this time, half of the main riders, more than half of the main rider belts aren't going to be Premium Bandai because they're all using the same belt. And if it is Premium Bandai, it's like a little plastic buckle that's Premium Bandai. So the Revice toy line's kind of a mess. I kind of want to make a video on it and Premium Bandai overall because they really kind of fumbled it. But that's a discussion for another time. When's the next Toku Ideas episode? I have no plans for that. What is my least favorite main rider? Sogo, but he's not that bad. I just like other people more. Main hopes for how the power-ups will look or work. I did briefly discuss that a couple minutes ago, but basically my main hope is that we get one buckle that lets you use a bigger buckle, but it lets you use the mini buckle weapons while you're using the big buckle. And then we also get, I hope we get a buckle that like creates an ID cord. Like it's a whole buckle, you slide it in and then you rotate a piece so it creates the ID core, and then when you activate it, like covers the ID core or something like that. I'm hoping Geats doesn't have another Veil Deathstream situation where they tease a driver and announce it months later. I mean, they're kind of already doing that, where we have Nago and Tycoon, but they're not going to get releases of their toys for a while until they get until their main buckles come out. So it's kind of happening already. That's just kind of how it works. I'm glad the Desire Driver seems like it will have a lot of longevity within the series so far, considering the amount of riders that we've seen. That's true. We got more ID cores and emblems already. That's one of my least favorite things about Saber. And we only got 3 emblems, not counting the Gecko Ikazuchi one that is just a remold. What's the next Kamen Rider review? It's gonna be Revice. The Revice review in about a month, less than a month. That's gonna come out. Leading up to that, I am hopefully gonna be releasing a bunch of Sentai videos. So we're gonna do a bunch of Sentai and then bam, all Kamen Rider. So who is the strongest rider in civilian form? Me. But also maybe Tendo from Kabuto, because he is just kind of like I say this with complete certainty, probably a god. I forgot someone mentioned Gaim. I forgot he is literally a god. So, yes, that was the most powerful in civilian. I forgot we had a literal god as a Kamen Rider. So, oops. Let's see. How long have we been going for? 2 hours, a little over 10 minutes. So, any last questions you guys have, throw them in. I'll do a speed round answering questions, and then I'm going to dip out because I'm tired. But I had a lot of fun talking about Geats. I'm so happy I finally got to talk about Geats. Actually, before I leave, I'll give you the quick rundown of what's happening. Last week, Futo PI episode 1 review. Go watch that if you haven't already. Tomorrow, will be a Super Sentai Ryusoldier versus Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger review. That movie, gonna be reviewing that. You can watch it right now on Patreon for $2. If you don't want to pay $2, it's coming out tomorrow. But if you do pay $2 on Patreon, you'll also get all of the rest of the videos of this month early. What am I releasing the rest of this month? I do want to keep it a little bit of a secret. On Patreon, it's not a secret, you know. But if you don't have Patreon, it is the Ryusoldier, Lupin Ranger, Pato Ranger movie is the start of a little mini series of videos I am making, if you can figure that out. So then next month, in about a month, probably, I mean a little bit after the next month's live stream, I will be doing a full season review of Revice is on the way, obviously. Episode 1 review of Geats is on the way, obviously. Revice Rider Potential on the way. So make sure you're subscribed. Check out the Patreon if you want to stay tuned for all of that. Any show am I watching right now? Revice, Dawn Brothers. That's honestly kind of it, because I don't really have the time to watch a lot of other stuff. I already dropped Decker, not because I don't like it, just because I don't really have the time to keep up with it. I will definitely go back and watch it once we get more episodes, because I did like it. Actually, no, I'm lying. I watched Futo PI episode 2 today. I'm watching that. I'm really enjoying that. Other than that, no, I don't really have the time for a lot of stuff. Will I be buying the driver? Assuming you're talking about the Geats driver, the Desire driver. Yes, I already pre-ordered it. Imagine they make an ID core revolver. Oh, like a gun and you put the cores in it. That would be kind of cool. Have I seen that Chainsaw Man anime trailer? No, because I don't watch Chainsaw Man or know what that is. So, am I going to buy any Legend Rider buckles? I'll probably buy the X8 and Saber ones just because I like X8 and I like Saber. But other than that, probably not. Or, yeah, probably not. Am I ever going to make Transformers videos again? I don't want to say never, no, because maybe I would like to make something on Cyberverse. Maybe I'll do a review on the movie that comes out next year. But if I ever do anything, another Transformers video, it'll probably be with the idea that a lot of you don't watch Transformers. You're subscribed for Toku stuff, which is true. I mean, that's perfectly fine. So I'll probably do it like a spoiler-free look at something to convince people who watch Toku to watch Transformers. That's pretty much it. How come I haven't done X8 Rider Potential? One, because I'm busy and I haven't gotten around to writing it, and I'm just not good with time at all. But two, I mean, it's kind of the same point. I want to make X8 Rider Potential the finale of, like, my X8 videos. You notice I did, like, a bunch of X8 videos at the beginning of the year. So I kind of want to make X8 Potential the finale. And I still have more X8 videos I want to make. So I have to make those first, and then I would do X8 Rider Potential. And I haven't had time to make those videos, and blah, blah, blah. So it's a whole mess. But hopefully I'll get to it before the end of the year. So with that, I think I will peace out. So actually, I forgot to say that if you do want to ask me more questions, I do have Twitter, and I do have a Discord server with a question channel. So be sure to check those out, linked in the description. And with that, I will be out. So thank you everyone for watching. It's Geats in time.